everyone, it's Mirika Abundance and I am so glad to be back here with you together. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you've had a good end of the last year and a good start into the new year. I did have, and I'm just going to stop the planning mode that I've been in terms of making videos, because I'm just going to start making videos on whatever comes to my mind, and ideally like daily and really regularly, and without getting caught up in my idea of making like the perfect videos. Please give this a thumbs up if you're looking forward to daily videos. And I've also opened a new channel which is going to be English only. This channel is going to continue bilingual, English and German. I'm just going to roll with that. I'm just going to experiment with that and see how you guys like it. So like this and subscribe if you haven't yet, and subscribe to the new English channel if you're interested in, you know, just seeing English videos. And yes, let's just hop on a question that I got like in December or November already. I'm actually going to share a lot of what I eat in the future, also like what I eat in the weeks. I've actually filmed like the whole last month. I actually filmed what I ate for you guys. So yeah, stay tuned and hit the notification bell so you're actually being notified when I'm uploading, which is going to be much more often as of now. So also, this is going to be unedited, because otherwise this is going to be the reason why, you know, my excuse why I can't make so many videos. But, you know, it's going to be good enough. Also, don't hesitate to actually post down any questions below this video. I am going to look more into what you are writing, your reactions, your questions, your requests, so I can actually yeah, maybe, you know, just answer a question a day, or like several questions in one video, and just roll with how I'm feeling, what I think is best for you guys, what you want to see, and just not overthinking so much. That's the plan. So last thing, don't forget to actually subscribe to me on, like, to follow me on Instagram, because I'm also going to, you know, post stuff there. If you haven't yet, just hop over there. And yeah, if you're interested in anything. Okay. So this question is actually from, I think it's like Franchini E, one of my followers or subscribers, and she made a point about my video, like my previous video, which was kind of controversial, where I talk about overshoot, and I'm just going to completely spontaneously react to her question, because I think more of you guys are actually having this question. Not knowing you personally, but as a viewer, a few things that I noticed. You still seem to be on a journey to find the ideal way of nutrition. So the thing is, it is not my aim to find the ideal way of nutrition, but I am interested, after all that I've been going through, like for half of my life, to actually portray a balanced way of living between the science and you know, balance, and just, you know, just live, just intuition, and not getting caught up in science. And so the reason why I am becoming, yeah, you're right, you want to become a nutritionist. Yes, I am in training of becoming a vegan nutritionist, and the reason for that is not because I'm obsessed or you know, because my aim is to find the ideal way of eating. It's because I want to understand and know what I'm talking about when it comes to you guys, or when it comes to just talking to people about that. And that is completely independent from parts of eating disorder or not. It's just something that I find is such a big topic for people and becomes a too great topic in people's lives, and it had been for me. But I am not living in my past anymore. I'm just making the best of what I have gone through in life so far. And for those of you who aren't aware, since the age of 13 until pretty recently in 2018, when I really started full recovery, food has been too big of a topic for me in my mind and in my life, and it just took up too much space in my life. And so my heart and my aim with my channel and with anything I do is I just really feel the purpose of helping people who have been where I have been. And that is not me saying I am at the end, I am at the goal, I have achieved, like I think in a way you are never finished. You will always have to constantly be reminding yourself and just fighting against any voices that are trying to get you back into that. Like with any addiction, in a way eating disorders are like addictions. And so, but that doesn't mean that anyone who has gone through stuff like this in life can never ever be learning about things like this again. Or it also doesn't mean, which is also super controversial, that someone who has had an eating disorder in the past can never be able to actually lose weight in a healthy way and actually without any eating disorder in the background. And that is just, I am not still on a journey to find the ideal way of nutrition. I have actually come to a point where I'm very balanced with how I'm eating. It's just part of my life. It's just, it's not anything more or less than just being food. And but at the same time, I really want to know what I'm talking about and really understanding metabolism and physiology for future contents, so I actually have some credibility and can be sure that I'm not talking about anything that any influencer or something talked about. I just really want to have a solid foundation, and so that's why I am in training of becoming a vegan nutritionist. So there are going to, as I said, there's going to be what I eat and what I weeks, or even what I eat in a month coming here, so stay tuned for that. You are right, or no, not you, but Francini is writing, you want to, so you are still very much occupied with food and the body. I've actually talked about this right now. As I said, I don't think you are ever at a point where you can just be like, oh, whatever, I don't care. No, I wouldn't consider myself being finished and over with recovery once and for all. It's like an ongoing thing, but I am at a point where I am just really free of any food rules. What I do have to do is just really pay attention and be careful and on point for any voices that are still in my head. Do not act on them, just do the opposite. That is, that's what it's about. But I'm really good at that so far. And so, yeah. With what I eat, what is coming in the future, I'm also going to talk about things like how I actually overcame fear foods, how I overcame the fear of fats, of like proteins, of processed foods, of like anything in terms of that, just anything that I think that will help you. You seem to want to show people that they can eat in abundance. Yes, and have a great body according to standards within society. The body I have is just the body I have, and it came out like this after my personal individual journey of recovery. And so I cannot change the fact that it's actually, within the standards of society. But I do think that I can, with what I have, to give and what I've experienced and what I have to share, I actually can be someone who people can find hope in. That is the whole point about me making content. I want to be a spark of hope for someone who has been in the same situation that I was. However, your abundance comes within restrictions, guidelines. I would say that is not true. If you mean with that veganism, like eating plant-based as a restriction or a guideline, then that is your opinion. That is fine. For me, for me at this point, veganism is a pure 100% ethic decision, because I actually have been going back to non-vegan foods at the beginning of my full recovery, because I actually wanted, if I am eating plant-based, I wanted the decision, if I made it for veganism, to be purely ethical and not eating disorder related. And so that is why I actually, for a month or so, went back to non-vegan foods, and I didn't enjoy the taste, so wholesome, genuinely. And that is why I didn't stick with it. And it also really, really, really messed up my digestion. It was not even funny. I was in excruciating pain. But I was aware, and I am aware still, that is also normal after being, a long-term vegan, that the body lacks some enzymes, and, that is kind of normal, and it can kind of relearn to reproduce these enzymes, for lactose or something. But that being said, just for you to know, the reason why I'm vegan and eating plant-based is not for eating disorder purposes or guidelines or rules or restrictions. It's purely coming from a place of abundance, because I really feel my best mentally and physically, and not because not because the eating disorder voice is trying to, being a chipmunk in my head and saying these things. That is just something that I genuinely found out for myself. And I do want to be an example for people, who are vegans for ethical reasons. But of course, you are the only one to actually judge about that and be really, really honest about that, if it is really that way. But I think there's very, very, very few people on the internet that are sharing recovery whilst being still a vegan. And I know that there are many people saying, there is no vegan that has ever recovered as a vegan from an eating disorder. And I tend to disagree. And so I guess, my way is a way that can show that you can be in the realm of veganism or in the realm of a plant-based diet without being restricted. And I know, by terms, by the pure definition, it's kind of a restriction in society because there's so many non-vegan foods. But I have never had a problem where I didn't have anything to eat that I liked. And also other than apples or something, I have always had an alternative to have something unhealthy or similar in any situation. And if not in my recovery, and I also would do it now, I want to be very clear on that. If I don't have an alternative when there's only non-vegan food, which never happened, or it happened, it actually happened once in my recovery, but just in general, it doesn't happen. But if it happens, or if it happened now again, I actually would not only consider, but I would eat non-vegan food. in that case, because otherwise it would be feeding any kind of restriction, and you know, I would be like, oh, I'm hungry, then it would actually feel like a restriction for me, and so that cannot be. And so I am very aware, we do need to be careful that veganism is not a restriction. And my channel is to share a way of eating a vegan diet without it being a restriction, because there's so, like, the YouTube and the internet is full of people sharing restrictive ways of vegan diets. And that is what actually got me into all of my health problems, which eventually actually got me into the eating disorder again, because I wasn't eating enough calories and not enough fats and not enough proteins and all of that jazz. So one can still not just listen to themselves eat and live their lives. No, there is a concept so that you can still eat a lot but not gain weight. The way I eat is not so I can eat a lot and not gain weight. I don't believe, you know, I actually come from a past where I ate a lot of animal products, very protein rich, and it was far easier for me to eat less calories, fewer calories than on a plant-based diet, because I think, you know, you can always like just manipulate your appetite or hunger with, like, I don't know, stimulants or a ton of protein, or, you know, special kinds of exercise. You know, there's always a way. And it's just, no, the short answer or the short reaction or response to that statement is that is not the case for me. There's not a concept so I can still eat a lot but not gain weight. It's, yeah. If, you know, if you have any questions about that, you can, don't hesitate to just comment down below. To me, this does not sound like true recovery towards true health. I am sorry. And I agree, if that for anyone, you know, if someone is actually abusing veganism, and yes, that's a thing, unfortunately, if someone is using veganism as a way to restrict and to just eat in abundance within a whole lot of restriction and not to gain weight, then that is a problem, obviously. And in the beginning, that is why I actually went vegan, which was not good for me, which is also why I think which is also why I'm making content, because there's so many ex-vegans nowadays, it's not even funny, like people who the lifestyle really doesn't work for, and it's 99% because they are actually restricting themselves within the vegan way of eating, and for that reason they're actually not eating enough calories, be it because of a whole food obsession, or a macro, like low fat or low carb or low protein or whatever, or no processed foods, whole foods only, you name it. You may want to ask yourself why you are still so passionate about this topic. I think, you know, I have done this so, like, seriously and generously for myself, to just really protect myself and my recovery. And I think I have elaborated on that already. I don't want this to get too long, and so yeah. Why is it so much of interest after your recovery still? Yeah, I think I went into that already. If you have any open questions about that, any one of you guys, just ask me down below. Thanks for reading, and I do not by any means want you to see this as an offense. I believe you do all this in good faith. Thank you, and I did not take this as an offense. I can see where you're coming from, and I myself, I have asked these questions below other vegan YouTube channels that I followed in recovery or before recovery, when I was still deep in the eating disorder. So yeah, thank you so much for your question. I'm just going to end it here, and I hope you like this. If so, please give me the like, and I will see you next video. Bye bye.